Welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with another Premier League prediction stream. Obviously, game week 13 of Premier League predictions. And let's get into it. Some good games this weekend yet again. Obviously, every team will be playing, unlike the midweek, because obviously Arsenal's game against PSV obviously got, told to then be played then, essentially. And what a bit of a dead game that was. Everyone would have obviously preferred to see Arsenal versus Man City, but it is what it is. Let's get into it. So obviously the first game is obviously the early kickoff tomorrow, which obviously newly promoted Nottingham Forest, not having a great start, taking on Liverpool, obviously my second team. Obviously I will be doing a watch along to it. I believe in working in the morning as it stands, so hopefully I can come back in a time where I can have a sleep for like an hour, because I don't want to be shattered on that stream. It's quite an early start, I believe. So we'll see what goes on with that. But anyway, the game, I'm just going to go straight into the lineup, because like I said, we're the first game. Lineup I would go with, so I would go with a 4-3-3. A lot of people say about changing formation, but I would go to 4-3-3. I'm going to go Alisson in goal, of course. Man of the match the other day. The amount of times the guys save Liverpool is becoming a joke now, to be honest. Let's be real now. Let's see if the Liverpool players have got new pictures, if it lets me want to actually click on them. Because obviously Luton players did earlier. And I believe, that looks like a new picture of Alisson. Right back, I'm going to go Trent. I'm going to go Trent. I can tell that's a new picture with them dreadlocks. Big up yourself, Trent, even though you're not having the greatest time at the moment. But you're not the only player, so don't worry, mate. Keep your head up and it will be good again. Robertson as the left back. The two centre-backs, I'm going to go... I think Kanate is coming close, but he won't be back for this game. I'm going to go... You got to go Woolley. It has been, ain't you? You got to go Gomez and Van Dijk. Let me just do that. Virgil went... Oh, no, it won't do it like that. And then the CDM, I'm going to go Fabinho. Of course, you could go Henderson, but I'll go Fabinho. On the left-hand side of the midfield, I'm going to go Thiago. And then the right-hand side, his players look so much better with these new pictures, man. Just looks fresh and updated. Do you know what I mean? It just looks better. And then I'm going to go Elliot. I'm going to go with him. Could argue Henderson for the more, sort of experience. 12:30 game, early kickoff away at Nottingham Forest, which will be a tough game, in my opinion. I see a lot of people saying Liverpool, walk it in the park. We'll see. I don't think it will be like that, but we'll see. We'll see what goes on. And then obviously the front three, another injury. Apparently Nunes is out as well, which is gutting, especially with how he's performed, the other day against West Ham. Well taken goal, should have scored more as well. But had a really good game, of course. But unfortunately, he's not going to be in it. So that's the addition to Jota and Diaz. So I suppose you're going to have to go... Liverpool might go a different formation, but I'm going to go to 4-3 and 3-3. And this might sound mad, but we saw it briefly the other day. Salah on the left sort of side. So I'm going to go with it. And then I'm going to go Carvalho on the right. There he is. And then through the middle, you've got to go Firmino. Of course, especially the form he's been on. Obviously, it wasn't quite the same the other day, but still been really good this season. I'm going to go with them. So that's my lineup. So just to recap, Alisson in goal, Robertson left back, Trent right back, Van Dijk and Gomez as the centre backs. Fabinho as a CDM alongside Thiago and Elliot. And then Salah on the left side. Like I say, you briefly saw him on the left sort of side against West Ham. So I'm going to go with it again, especially if, Nunes being out, Diaz and all of that. And then obviously Firmino through the middle and Carvalho on the right. Carvalho and Salah might switch it up. But then again, from what I can recap, I don't really see Carvalho on the left sort of side. He's more on the right when he has played. So, I'm going to go with them. That's my lineup. As for a score prediction, like I said, a lot of people saying it's going to be a walkover, which I sort of understand why people say that. Liverpool, they look like they're back again. Forest have conceded the second most amount of goals in the league this season. But I just think with it being at Nottingham Forest, early kickoff, we do tend to have tight games against them majority of the time. Obviously, last season when we played, it was 1-0 to us in the FA Cup. Obviously, Ethan, who's now at Luton on loan, done very well in that game. But yeah, I just don't think it's going to be a walkover for Liverpool. I do expect Liverpool to win, but I just don't think it's going to be a walkover. So I've gone with the exact same score as it was in the FA Cup last year, if it lets me want to put it in. And I'm going with a 1-0 to Liverpool. Big up Spencer in the chat. He says he's going for a 3-1 Liverpool. Fair enough, mate. I'm going with 1-0. I think it'd be narrow, and I think that'll be Liverpool's third 1-0 win in a row, and obviously that'll be their third win in the league in a row as well. Obviously, it says in the title, can Liverpool make it 3 league wins in a row? And I believe we will do it, but I just think it'll be a tighter game than people expect. We'll see. I might be wrong, but I just think with the atmosphere they'll create, 12:30 kickoff, I still expect us to win, but it's just not going to be that easy, I don't think. But we'll see. We will see. But moving on to the next game, obviously the other side of Merseyside, which is Everton, taking on Crystal Palace. Obviously, Everton, win, loss. That's sort of, the form they've been on, or in fact it is. Taking on Crystal Palace, who obviously have done well at their home games recently, obviously coming back from losing positions. As for Everton, the home crowd, let's be real, when Goodison Park wants to be on it, which is not really these type of games, it's obviously more the bigger games like Liverpool, United, etc. They can be on it. They are in the relegation battle, and I believe they will be throughout the whole season. I just think they've got a good enough defence which will keep them up in the end, especially, Connor Cody and Tarkowski. Most of the time they've had good games since they've come in. Not sure about the Maupay signing. I understand it, how injured Calvert-Lewin gets, but when it comes to goal scoring, I don't quite think he's that guy who's going to reach you levels in that sense. Crystal Palace, like I said, hit and miss. Away from home, it's been a bit meh from them. I'm going to go with an Everton win. Obviously, I don't really like to say that, but I'm going to go with an Everton win. I'm going to back them due to them being at home, and Crystal Palace a bit meh, especially away. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Everton. Spencer says 2-1 Palace over the blue and white shite. Yeah, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I could see it going 2-1 either way, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Everton. Moving on to the next game at the Etihad, Manchester City taking on Brighton. Obviously, City, they haven't actually won their last 2 games. Obviously, drawing to Copenhagen, which obviously their main priority was that Liverpool game, but then losing that game, which obviously a lot of people didn't expect. Even Liverpool fans thought they were going to, get walked over. I knew Liverpool would get some sort of result. But yeah, obviously, City, they're back at home this time, though. Obviously, them last 2 games they weren't at home. They're very good at home this season. They're joint first, obviously, alongside Arsenal and Tottenham on home form in the Premier League this season. Taking on Brighton, who got... With how the game went, I wouldn't say it's overly disappointing the draw against Forest, despite how Forest are doing, because I just think Dean Henderson was on a madness, like I said on the review yesterday. But Brighton, they're still learning things with this new manager. Even though it seems like he's got a similar playing style to Graham Potter, they're still learning, adapting new sort of things. I'm going to go with a City win due to it being at home. I think if you didn't, you are mad. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a one that you lot have gone with in the comments as well. I was thinking maybe Brighton get a goal, but then I led back my mind to when I said Southampton get a goal and they didn't. But then again, that's Southampton. You know how they do for my predictions. 3-0 Man City. I've gone with the same prediction as you guys. Brighton will not win for the 5th game in a row. 0-2 and 3. Yeah. Still adapting to things, like I said. Stephen says, big up ties, City 3-0. Reckon the same. Obviously, Spencer's gone 3-0 as well. And then, yeah, big up yourselves. But moving on to the next game of the weekend at Stamford Bridge. Well, obviously, when you look at the 2 teams, it is. Will it actually be game of the weekend? We'll have to wait and see. But that is Chelsea taking on Manchester United. And to be honest, I think loads of people are underestimating Man United going into this game. I'm not really seeing, other than one Chelsea fan who said a draw, I'm not really seeing too many people reckon United can get some sort of result. The last couple of games they've played have been draws. I think like the last 4 games these two sides have played, it's been draws. I remember doing a watch along to the game at Stamford Bridge last year. Done it with Niall. Big up to Niall. Let's talk Premier League. Well, no, that's not his channel no more. Sorry, it's actually Sport Hub. But big up to him. You know, if it weren't for most of the subscribers, not quite the ones in here, but the ones that, you know, the Wolves, the Kennys, etc. You know, my channel wouldn't be where it is with them guys, as well as obviously you guys in the chat. You know, and that was a 1-1 draw. And United were good in that game, I would say. Probably maybe deserved to get something. And Chelsea, I think defensively they can be gotten at. Yeah, so can United, but I think Chelsea a lot more in that sense. I still think Chelsea will finish above them come the end of the season, but I just think the way United dealt with Tottenham was very good. You know, if it weren't for Lloris, it'd have been a lot more. And they were very dominant, and it was a very good display by United. We have to be honest. As for Chelsea, you know, they're not doing too bad. Obviously, drawing their last game to Brighton. Obviously, still unbeaten under Graham Potter. But I just think, you know, I've seen a lot of people go 2-1 Chelsea, which, yeah, it's a tight game. But I do think United will get some sort of result out of this game. I don't quite think anyone will win. I'm going with a high-scoring game. I'm going with a Chelsea 2, Manchester United 2 for this game. So, yeah, Stephen's gone 2-1 Chelsea. Fair enough. I just feel, you know, like I said, 2-1 is a tight game, of course, but I just feel a lot of people are, I don't know, it's mad. It's mad to me. I'm going for a 1-1, but can see United nicking it. Yeah, I'm the same, mate. If someone nicks it, I can see it being United. And a 2-1, to be fair. But I'm going to go over 2-2. Moving on to the next game. The game's on the Sunday, 2 days before my birthday. Woohoo! The first game is Aston Villa versus Brentford. Aston Villa, I didn't realise how wild their record actually is against Brentford. They haven't beaten them since 1952. And they, don't get me wrong, I haven't played an awful lot of times since, but they still played quite a fair, you know, amount of games. Obviously, Villa sacked Gerrard, you know, when you look at how it was, it's the right decision. Obviously, I'm gutted for him, but, you know, it is the right decision, especially if what he come out and said at the start of the season with expectations and that sort of thing. Taking on a Brighton side who, you know, Brentford side, sorry, who got that good draw to Chelsea. You know, Kepa was just on form. I think they'll be happy with that. Just, you know, Kepa's been brilliant for Chelsea recently. What's that? Is it 4 clean sheets for him in a row? I think it is. Taking on Villa at Villa Park. Like I said, that when I found out that record, they haven't beat him since 1952, I think it is. I was really shocked with that. I do think Villa could have a bounce here. I think it could be similar to Bournemouth in the sense where, you know, O'Neill come in. It's not quite a manager, but it's just an interim, someone to take over for now, and they get some sort of result. Similar to Middlesbrough as well in the Championship, but I don't quite think they'll win this game. I'm going to go with Aston Villa 1, Brentford 1. I'm going to go with another draw. I'm going to go with a 1-1 in this game. 1-0. You reckon they'll do it? Fair enough. But yeah, moving on to the next game. Southampton, obviously there's 4 2:00 games in the UK on Sunday again. I think there was last week as well, wasn't there? Southampton, oh no, sorry. Is there 4? No, there is 4. Yeah. What am I about? Yeah, there is. Southampton versus Arsenal. Obviously, Southampton got that good win in that South Coast derby. Like I said, you know, when I've done the preview, obviously not the biggest South Coast derby, but to get a win was very good. against a good Bournemouth side who are obviously unbeaten under O'Neill as well. Obviously, that's ended now. Southampton, looking at how the game went, they probably deserved to win it. Yeah, Bournemouth weren't too bad, and 2 penalty shouts. Like I said, both of them not penalties for me, especially that first one. It didn't even touch his arm in the end. And the second one, he did move his hand back, like he said. And Southampton, the support was really good. Like I said, I know it's easier to, bring good support because, the size of the stadium, but still give them credit for that. And that obviously spurred the team on. Taking on Arsenal, obviously got that 1-0 win against PSV midweek. Not a great game to watch, but obviously they've, confirmed qualification of their group. Obviously top of both leagues that they're in. Southampton, you already know it's one of them teams. I predict them to win, lose, draw. You already know the drill. I'm going to predict them to lose, and, that's because how Arsenal have been. A popular prediction is a 2-1 Arsenal, which I understand. Southampton, a lot of their home games, they've either won 2-1 or lost 2-1 or even lost 1-0. But I'm going to say Arsenal win by a 2-goal deficit. I'm going to go over Southampton 0, Arsenal 2, which will obviously mean they'll retain top of the league again. Hanno says 2-0 Brentford in that game versus Villa. Fair enough, mate. And Spencer's gone 2-1 Gooners and 2-1 Arsenal, says Hanno. I say it's a popular prediction. I'm going to try and be a little bit different. You never know. You never know. But moving on to the next game, Leeds United versus Fulham. Obviously, Leeds are the favourites in this game, despite, they haven't been on the greatest of form. Fulham obviously got that very good win against Aston Villa, which then obviously got Gerrard sacked. As much as Villa were all over the place, Fulham did play very well and they bounced back, considering their last home game before that. Before that was a 2-2, but the one before that, heavy defeat to Newcastle. They responded to that well. Taking on Leeds away. How do I see this game going? I see this being a very, in my opinion, this might age well, but I do see it being a bit overhyped of a game. Not that anyone's really hyping it up, but then see people thinking there'd be goals. I don't think there'll be any goals, to be honest. I remember watching that. Obviously, I know Fulham are obviously doing better than Villa. Hints to score the other day. But I remember when Leeds played Villa, how Leeds like to leak goals. And Villa, even with, how they've been under Gerrard, that ended up being 0-0. I'm going to go over 0-0 for this game. There always tends to be that one game which is a 0-0 as well. Last week, there was a couple that were 0-0. I think there's like 2 or 3, weren't there? So I'm going to go over 0-0 in this game. Arsenal have lost just one game all year. That is insane. Yeah, it is. It is. And it links to what I say about their mentality. They wouldn't have had that a couple of years ago. Like, I always talk about this season. I talk about that Fulham game. If they lost that, if that was last season, they'd have lost that game because they don't have that grit and determination to come back there. Their heads would have went down straight away. So you have to give them credit for that. And yeah, they haven't looked too convincing recently in their games, but they're still winning. They're still getting the 3 points, which is all that matters. Especially when you are, as it stands, they are in the title race. I don't think they'll win the title come the end of the season. I think Man City, I think the World Cup could affect Arsenal. But we'll see. We'll see. Carry on like they are. They should definitely get top 4. Even, if things are the way they are after the World Cup. But we'll see. Kenny's predictions, big up yourself as well. He says 2-1 Liverpool, Everton 1-1, City 2-1, United 3-1, Villa 2-1, Brentford. Brentford's beat Villa 2-1. Southampton 5-0 Arsenal, and then 3-1 to Fulham. Sorry. That is that. But yeah, moving on to the next game, another Midlands derby. Obviously, we've seen quite a lot of them recently in the Premier League. Wolverhampton Wanderers taking on Leicester City. Obviously, Wolves, they're a team that's going to be down there. It's come out, obviously, Kenny said on yesterday's stream, their head coach, who it currently is going to be there for the season. taking on Leicester, who obviously got that good win against Leeds. I expected them to win that despite how they've been. They need the points more than Leeds, even though Leeds now only have a better goal difference, and that's the reason they're, not in the relegation zone. How do I see this one going? It's going to be a tight game for me. It's going to be a tight one. I'm going to go over 1-1. I'm going to go over 1-1 for this game. I've gone with quite a lot of draws so far this weekend, and that is another game where I'm going with a draw. Spencer's gone 1-1 as well, so fair enough. Moving on to the next game, Tottenham versus Newcastle. I remember last year at Tottenham when Tottenham pumped them 5-1. I just didn't expect that. Really good performance by Tottenham. As of late, it's not been too great. Obviously, the United game, the only good player was obviously Lloris. Newcastle, they've been doing well as well recently. Obviously, got that 1-0 win against Everton. Dominated the whole game. Dominated the whole game. Probably deserved to get more. People are saying a potential shock, because Tottenham most of the time are good at home. People are saying a Newcastle win, and I totally understand why they say that. But I reckon Tottenham will bounce back and get a good result in this game. It might sound like it's one-sided. I don't think it will be. I think it will be a draw for a while. I think Tottenham might take lead, then Newcastle equalise, and then Tottenham go 2-1 up and then 3-1 up later on in the game. So, yeah, I'm going to go over 3-1 Tottenham. I'm going to go over 3-1 Tottenham. So, yeah, that's my prediction for that. Spencer's gone 2-2. Fair enough, mate. I can see there being goals in this one. Kenny's gone same as me. Exactly. You literally think the same as me. That's weird. Yeah, you just put what the fuck. Yeah, that is weird. But then again, great minds think alike. When you don't say Middlesbrough better than Atletico Madrid. Well, hey. Had to get that in. But yeah, the last game, West Ham, a day before my birthday. I might, not 100%, depends on what time I finish work and what time I get up and that as well, because I might be tired. If I manage to get sleep during the day, I might do a watch along to this, depending on what time I get back. And that's West Ham versus Bournemouth. How do I see this one going? It's an interesting one because Bournemouth obviously took their first defeat under Gary O'Neill. So, yeah, but then again, it could be one of them where, yeah, they might have took that first defeat at home, but they might still do well away. But I don't know. I just think, obviously, West Ham, yeah, they took that defeat to Liverpool. They should have really scored in that game. The chance near the end that Souček had the Bowen penalty, should have done better. Good save by Alisson, but it was a pretty shite penalty at the same time. Yeah, I just think West Ham are back into the swing of things, especially at home. So yeah, I'm gonna go over 2-0 West Ham. I'm gonna go over 2-0 West Ham for this game. So yeah, they are my predictions. Let's see what you lot reckon. Lewis has said, evening, big up yourself, mate. 2-1 says Spencer, fair enough. West Ham 1-1. Yeah, if it's a draw, I can definitely see it being that. I just think West Ham at home, back in the swing of things, and that's going to help them climb up the table. And I think if they didn't beat Bournemouth, despite how well Bournemouth have done, I think they'd be very disappointed. So yeah, just been listening, not predicting. No, that's fine, mate. Not a problem. Lewis has gone 3-0 Liverpool. I just don't. Well, I might get clipped up, which probably will. I just, at the end of the day, we've all got our predictions and our opinions. I just don't. I don't know. I just think with it being a 12:30 kickoff, Forest fans are going to be well up for it. Obviously, Liverpool fans that travel are as well, but I don't know. I just think it'll be a tight game. And, it's come out Núñez is now injured. It's ridiculous. Honestly, I'd say I would go with Salah on that left wing, which might sound mad because he don't really play there. But then again, he was sort of on the left side against West Ham the other day, and Carvalho on the right. I don't know if I've ever seen Carvalho on the left sort of side, even when he's played midfield. So, yeah, that's that. 1-1 Everton, fair enough, mate. Cherries have good away form. Yeah, I know. I just think that with West Ham, I think they're bouncing back, especially at home. And I think with Bournemouth, might be where they take some defeats, but they still do well. They still do well after that. 2-1 United, 3-1 City. Fair enough. I think Forest will be a tight affair too. Yeah, man. Yeah. Obviously, I'll be doing a watch along to it. So if you do want to, and if you can, obviously do tune into that. 1-0 Brentford, 2-0 Arsenal. Fair enough. Same as me for Arsenal. 2-1 Fulham. Fair enough. 12:30 games always tough. Exactly. Wolves 0-0. Fair enough. Yeah, I've gone with the 0-0, but for Leeds. Think back to Chelsea 5-2 West Brom. Exactly. Yeah, I remember watching that with my mate, actually. He's a Tottenham fan. He was loving it. 2-1 Newcastle. Fair enough. 2-1 Bournemouth. Oh, you reckon Bournemouth will win? Fair enough, mate. Log them predictions, mate. Yep, no worries. I'll do that after. But yeah, they are my predictions. So let's just run through them again. So Nottingham Forest 0, Liverpool 1, Everton 2, Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 3, Brighton 0, Chelsea 2, Manchester United 2, Aston Villa 1, Brentford 1, Southampton 0, Arsenal 2, Leeds United 0, Fulham 0, and then obviously Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Leicester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 3, Newcastle 1. Me and Kenny have the same thoughts for that game. And then the last game, West Ham United 2, AFC Bournemouth 0. Let's calculate what the table would look like if results went that way before we go. So Arsenal would still be top of the league, like I said. Man City and Tottenham would be joint second, but obviously City got a much better goal difference. Chelsea would still be in the top 4. United would be 5th. Liverpool would be getting up there slowly, would be 6th. Newcastle 7th. Fulham 8th. Brentford 9th. Brighton 10th. West Ham 11th. So that's what I mean by them sort of getting back up there as well, if that was the case. Crystal Palace 12th. Everton 13th. Bournemouth 14th. Southampton 15th. Leeds 16th. Aston Villa 17th. And then it'd still be the same bottom 3 in that relegation zone. Obviously, Villa would have the same goal difference as Wolves. But yeah. Wolves, obviously, they're Leicester and Forest. So yeah, that is what the table would look like. Think that put Liverpool 6th on this. Yep, it would, Spencer. There you go. There's confirmation of it, mate. It put Liverpool 6th. And yeah, I love using this website. Shout out to Kenny. It just saves me having to work it all out myself. And my maths ain't even that great, I'll be honest with you lot. So yeah, it helps me out. And it's interesting as well. I like to see it. So yeah. But yeah, they are my predictions for game week 13 of the Premier League. So yeah, big up everyone that's tuned in and all of that. And like I said, I'll be back again tomorrow with a stream to Nottingham Forest versus Liverpool, of course. And yeah, make sure you check out the Hat Show, which done earlier. Obviously, talk about that Norwich win with my dad and discussing the big one against Twatford at the weekend. And I will be doing a watch along to that. We'll be doing a watch along to that as well. So yeah, make sure you do tune into that, especially if you can. And yeah, don't forget to smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. As of yet, we've got up to 9 likes. So please do smash a like if you haven't already. And I know people watch it on playback, so big up to them people as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already as well. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload or a scheduled stream. And yes, subscribe to my other channel as well, T-Boys TV Extra. Hannah doing a good job on that, like I keep saying. Turn on the notification bell for that as well. Check out the recent videos on that, or the clips, shall I say, if you haven't already. And yeah, if you want to follow me across any of my socials, links to them are in the description as well. And yeah, big up yourselves. Spencer says, take care, T, and everyone. See you tomorrow. Big up yourself, Spencer, mate. That's a 4:30 a.m. kickoff for you. It's probably the time I'm going to get up tomorrow. You know, because obviously I've got work in the morning. Might be a bit later, but find out a bit later on. And also, I will be uploading straight after this, actually. That's just reminded me. On the community post, I will be uploading my championship predictions if anyone's interested. So, yeah, make sure you check that out. Stephen says, are you red button or iFollow? Red button, as I'll be on time. Yeah, the quality's not great and all of that, but I might as well. I'm going to be by myself doing it. So yeah, interaction with you guys would be class. And also I know a lot of people that can't tune into it that are not going. So try help them people out as well. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that is all of that. But yeah, until tomorrow, I will see you lot in a bit. Big up yourselves. Much love, guys. Appreciate you lot, like always. And yeah, I will see you lot tomorrow. So yeah, until next time, stay safe, take care, and peace.